Every day is a new beginning, a chance to erase unhappy endings. When I wake, I can make 1,000 dreams come true. I can use my faith in God in everything I do, 'cause every day is new. Infinite paths to choose.
Please join me in prayer. Let us just take a deep breath into this moment, allowing our attention to turn to the now. Breathing in, breathing out in that place of calmness and peace. And as we move into this time of inspiration, let us remember and recognize that there is a power. There is a presence that is in all life, an energy that permeates all things. We call it God, we call it Spirit. It is perfect, it is good, and it is here now. And what I know is that this Spirit, this being, lives within each and every one of us, and we are accompanied by this energy, this source, always, in all ways. So we just relax into this moment, letting go of everything outside of this time, allowing ourselves to just focus and be here now, knowing that we are blessed, we are perfect, all is well right here and right now. And so I just let it go and let it be. And so it is. It is the month of May. And this month we are going to be talking about waking up and rejoining that force, that energy of life, that purpose. Our theme for the month is Holy, Holy Uprising. And all of those words have significant meaning. So holy, the first word is the wholeness of who we are. Holy, the second word is holiness, Holy. And uprising, that sounds like we're going to be doing something. So this month we're going to kind of look at that idea of a wake-up call, to wake up from this time we've been in, this dormancy, if you will, this hibernation period, and pay attention to what is coming forth and what we are being called to do. And we are going to look at ways to take action this month. And so we begin today with the adventure called life. You see, each one of us, it is our very nature to seek love, to seek connection, to be a part of something and others, to have that place where we are kind of guided together as one unit. And in this place, we look at the adventure of life with the idea that it isn't just about bungee jumping. It isn't about skydiving. The adventure of life is how we face every moment of every day, because every moment of every day for each of us is an adventure. You know, when you are involved in something particular that you're working with, like your creativity, maybe it's with music, maybe it's with film, maybe it's with quilting, whatever that is, it's so easy to get lost in it. It's so easy to lose track of the time. And suddenly you kind of come to the awareness that you've been doing this for a while and you just kind of lost track of all that you were doing. That, my friends, is part of this thing we call the adventure. Adventure is defined as an unusual and exciting experience that can include so many activities. In the 1950s, Ernest Holmes, our founder, hosted a radio show entitled Self-Reliance and Your Adventure. And in this show, in this program, he proclaims God is our adventure. God is our adventure. And so this journey involves an expanded awareness that in life there is no risk. There is no risk, there is no failure, there's no uncertainty, because in this space, in this place with this awareness, it's all God, and God is here. God is the adventure, and with God we cannot fail. John Amat said this: "Adventure isn't hanging on a rope off the side of a mountain. Adventure is an attitude that we must apply to the day-to-day obstacles of life." The day-to-day obstacles of life. Life presents us with a lot of things to pay attention to. So how do you stay engaged? Because now we are moving from that place of social distancing. We're moving from that place of safer at home, and we're getting back together, and we're beginning to engage with one another, and we're starting to meet and greet and hang out with people that we haven't seen for a very long time. And how do we stay engaged during this time? Adventure includes occurrences. It includes events. It includes chance. And what I invite you to do is to look at it now from that perspective of, what does the one life bring forth for me? What have I been resting up for? What have I been preparing for? I've had time to reflect and relax and just allow my mind to be at ease. I've had plenty of time to take my time with a lot of the things that I needed to do. And we've had that flexibility that maybe we didn't have before 2020. So one of the keys to this whole process that I want to bring forth today is timing. You have to set the perfect timing. We know instinctually when it is time to do something. We know instinctually when it is time to take that step, to make that phone call, to drive to that location. But there's something that has an ability to get in our way, and that something is called fear. And when we buy into the fear and we allow the doubt to overshadow everything, we wait, we put it on hold, we pause, and we don't step into that moment of perfect timing. And the challenge for us there, the heartbreak, is that too often we miss it altogether. And we end up living with regret because we didn't take that step. We didn't move into that moment in time. But once we realize that life is worth living, that all the risk that goes with it is more than worth it, we can step into that moment. We can step into that time. And we can take a hold of our lives and all of the messiness about them, and we can move forward. And the payoff is tremendous for us, because we get that rich feeling of accomplishment. When you've done something, even if it's just a small thing, and it's an accomplishment for you, you feel good. It shows up on your face, it shows up in your expression, it shows up in your smile, and that smile touches your eyes and reaches deep into your soul. That moment of accomplishment. And it feels so good, and you don't have to go bragging about it to the world. You just get to own it. You just get to embrace it. You just get to be it. When you have an opportunity to go on vacation and you look at the photos, which if you are on Facebook, that's what you see, is plenty of people's photos. You can see their faces light up just at arriving at their destination. The adventure. Pay attention to the adventure. You know, quite a few years ago, I was in Chicago at the airport on a Friday night, and I was going to travel to Colorado. Never a good idea on a Friday night in Chicago at the airport to try to get out of Chicago. And at this particular time, we had some weather stuff going on. And within moments of arriving at the airport, my flight was delayed. And within minutes of that happening, my flight was canceled. And those boards that you see, you know, where they have all of the wonderful statistics, you started to see cancel, cancel, cancel. And all these flights were canceled. And people were getting vouchers to go stay at a hotel or whatever it is they were choosing to do to get a later flight. And I had missed that opportunity. It wasn't going to happen for me, because any hotel that I would have accepted a voucher for was too far away from the airport, and I just didn't want to be bothered. And it wasn't the first time I've spent the night at the airport, so I just decided I'll just spend the night at the airport. And I sat down and I started watching the people, and I started seeing this hysteria build and this disgruntledness. And I saw people going over to the ticket counter and screaming at the customer service, I think it's called, and screaming at the people, and it just, the energy was very negative. And so I remember sitting there thinking, I don't want to sit here with all these people who believe they will not get out of Chicago tonight. So I'm back over to the board, and I saw that in a couple of hours there was a flight from Chicago to Denver that was still scheduled to take off. And I thought, what a great idea. I'll go hang out with those guys at that gate. I'll go sit at that gate with people who are really planning on leaving, who have a positive attitude about what's happening tonight. And I went over to that gate and I met this amazing woman. We had this great conversation, and she was a little concerned that I was planning to spend the night at the airport, but we talked it through, and she decided that I would probably be okay. And then the time came and they started calling people for the flight. And all of the people in the space around me in that gate started to get up and go board this flight. And I thought how amazing my time had been to be in this space as opposed to where I had been earlier with all of the negativity and all of the people who were outraged over the challenges that were going on. And then in that moment, the agent said to me, "Excuse me, ma'am, would you like to go to Denver tonight? We have a seat on the plane." So as life would have it, the adventure for me was that a seat opened up and I was able to board that plane, and I got to Denver, Colorado that night and was able to get home. What an amazing way to look at life if we just shift our attitude, if we pay attention to the influences around us and the things that are impacting us. Because I believe that if I had stayed over in the other gate with all of the disgruntled people, I would have spent the night in the Chicago airport. I have a quote here from Deepak Chopra and Menas Kafatos. "Every day, our actions exist on the cutting edge of evolution, the frontier where the mind is caught between caution and curiosity." My friends, I invite you to step into that dance, into that place between caution and curiosity, allowing yourself to be moved and motivated to take action for your life. The second step is to take breaks. In this adventure of life, we have to pause. We have to back up. We have to slow down. We've learned a lot about this in the past 14 months or so, about pausing, taking a break, allowing the body and the being to replenish itself. Take breaks. If we choose to hustle through life, we miss things. We miss things, we make mistakes, we have these horrible happenstances, and then we have to back up and fix it. So just take a breath and look at where you are today, and look at what you are choosing to have in your life, and allow yourself to feel the sun on your skin. Feel the comfort and quiet of your home. If you're in traffic, allow yourself to just be in the traffic and not be in a hurry to get somewhere. So as we continue through this month to look at this holy, holy uprising, we are reminded to live, and that's with a capital L-I-V-E, live, and say yes to every opportunity that we possibly can, to allow whatever's coming up for us to be that thing for us. Remember that adventure isn't just that adrenaline rush. It is more than that. And it expands to so many aspects of our lives. And the final point that I want to make today is that we want to keep on track, and by keeping on track, we may need to seek help and support. Ernest Holmes says this: "In the midst of plenty, humanity lives in want because of fear. To overcome fear is the greatest adventure of the mind of man." Let's take the time to face fear, to move through it, to accept the idea of a risk, whether it's a small risk or a large risk, and to take those steps and move into that wonderful place of the adventure of life. For many of us, when we are troubled or challenged, we tend to shut down, we tend to withdraw, we tend to go to the quiet space in our home, and we don't reach out to anyone. And we have so many opportunities to connect with others and get that support. With our practitioners, you can email me, you can reach out to me directly. I will call you and pray with you on the phone, and so will our practitioners if you need that support. So consider that in your life as well. it can be almost dangerous to be alone too much, especially when we need that connection. So pay attention to that inner mechanism within your body and reach out as you need to. And know that should you reach out to me or one of our practitioners, whether even on the website you can go in and request a prayer, your request is held sacred and held in confidence. I believe that we are all here by divine appointment. I believe that each one of us is being called at this moment, at this time, right now, to move into something more, bigger, greater. We've had a lot of time to kind of pause and step back and reflect. And now it's time. And now it's time to step in to the adventure. So just simply take your time. Take breaks when you need to. And if you need additional support, reach out. Another place where we can step into adventure is in bringing the New Dawn community back together again. We currently have a campaign going called the Let's Get Together campaign. And in this campaign, we have asked and advertised that anyone who brings money in through this campaign process is going to go directly to those moments in time when we can start meeting together. Many of you know we don't currently have a building, so we will need to pay rental fees for a space. And many of you, so many of you have been telling me how you miss the live music. In order to have live music, we get to have the finances available to pay the musicians. And we're actually looking at a tentative date around June the 20th to bring us all together for the first time, to gather together. And so I encourage you to step into support, and if you aren't able to provide financial support, then how can you help us put this together? How can you devote some of your time to support this process? It's time. We have been distant for too long. We have missed one another for a very long period of time. It is time to get back together and to truly join together and enjoy that adventure of life. Please pray with me. And so as we bring this message to a close right here and right now, I know that it's all good and it's all God. I know that Spirit has been present throughout all of this, and that Spirit continues to be with each and every one of us from this moment forward, throughout this day, throughout this week, throughout this month, because God is always present. And I know in this place of knowing that we are connected to God, in God, and as God, we are connected one to another, and we are community. And in this place of community, we just simply give thanks and gratitude for being a part of the loving nature of one another, to be a part of connecting with people who think a lot like we do and that behave in ways that we choose to behave, and to have that ease and that grace of knowing that we're all part of these teachings and we're all part of this beautiful thing called life. And so right here and right now, I just bless all people everywhere. Whatever their faith, whatever their walk of life is, whatever the color of their skin, whoever they are, all people, all humankind are blessed right here, right now. And I give thanks. I give thanks for this opportunity. I give thanks for these many, many blessings. I give thanks for this beautiful, incredible day. And I just let it go. I let it go and turn it all over to the law of mind, knowing it's done, it's perfect, it's complete. I let go, I let God, and so it is.